All right. Hello, everybody. Um, we could probably get started here.
Perfect. Um, yeah, we'll let the other people just join in as they join in. But thank you everyone for making it. This is, my name is Siham. I'm the Vice President of Honor Council, and we have Zach here, the President of CSGA. And we're hoping to do an Intealth Q&A session. We'll start off by kind of going through some of the questions that we received, and then at the end, we'll do a Q&A for anyone who has any questions. Let's get started.
All right. So the first thing we want to do is to make sure we let you guys know that we are not employed by ECFMG or Intealth or anything like that. We are students like you trying to figure this out the same way you guys are. We don't claim to be experts in any way, shape, or form. We are just trying to do our best to get a pretty good grasp of utilizing this tool and some of the other tools that we need to use for applications and certification to do what we can to try to help you. So please, if like anything doesn't sound right, or if you're like, oh, I don't know if that's true or not, please, like you can ask us. You can go try to find the right resource. We'll do our best to give you resources and contact people to reach out to. But we just want you to understand that our main goal is to just get you a basic passable amount of information to help you at least make the right calls and understand the basics of how things work. So just understand that we're not going to do like insane deep dives. Like I said, our whole goal is just to do what we can as students to help you guys as students. So just we want to make that very clear. Don't think anything we say is a firm 100% confirmed. This is how things work, because we are also still figuring this out. So that being said, the first kind of category we'll go through here, based on like the questions that we got ahead of time. We'll first kind of start with the ECFMG certification and pathways specifically. So what we're going to do here is how this is structured is we'll talk a little bit about the questions. Each question that we got, I provided some resources. When this video goes up on the website and on the YouTube page, we will have a link to be so you guys can download this slide deck. So you'll have all of these links. So don't worry about it right now. Just know that you'll be able to have access to all of the links that we put in. But the first question that we got was, what is Pathways? How does it work? And what's its role in the ECFMG certification? The, I guess, simplified answer is that Pathways is the name for essentially the application to tell the United States as foreign trained doctors that we have done enough to be able to be certified and licensed to practice medicine in the United States. Next we got was what exams are required for certification and what are the costs. So all of the costs, like you can see, like we'll have links provided for you here, like the timeline and fees. The basic exams that we need to do before graduating is step 1, step 2, and OET. Those are the only like real exams we need to worry about right now. And the last one, what are the timelines, deadlines for the certifications? And that's also included in the link. They break it down for this specific academic year. So you'll be able to see all of those dates in there as well. And these are all things like everything, all the links and stuff I provide, these are all things that you guys can Google. I just sifted through a couple things, a couple links before I found, okay, this one's better than this one, whatever, just to save you guys some time.
All right, so we're just going to do a quick walkthrough of how to do Pathways for anyone who hasn't done it yet. First off, you want to start on this page. You're going to get here by going to the My Intealth page. Just don't Google Pathways and click random links. It can take you to a bunch of random different pages, and you don't want to do that. So you're going to start off by not logging onto my Intealth applicant portal. You're going to go to the application for 2026 pathways and pathways revalidation. Then there's two little sections here. You're going to then click on Access My Intealth. This is going to take you to a login page. So we've had a lot of people in the 2026 match WhatsApp talking about having to pay a $100 fee. So just clearing that up, when we used to use that Oasis IWA page, ECFMG account, that login information is the exact login information that you're going to use now for My Intealth. This is the same login information that you used for step 1 and step 2, or step 1 if you haven't taken step 2 yet. If you're prompted to pay a $100 fee, then you've probably used a different email, or maybe you're using the wrong password. So try to go figure out which username that you were or email you were using. Go back, try again. Your existing account should work. Zach has let me know what happens is if you use a different email to log in, you'll pay the $100. They have your information, they'll just merge it, and then you'll be out $100. So make sure you do this. It links to your account. You don't need to pay $100. This is the account sign-in that you'll go into once you click that login. Again, make sure you use the right email. If they ask you to pay a fee, try again.
And then this is also what you can do if you're not sure, where it says existing users, click the existing users, and it'll help you figure out what your account is and get you in.
I don't have screenshots of the pathways walkthrough, but basically after you log on, it'll start off by asking you a first question. It's, have you ever held a license or practice? You'll hit no, unless that's something that's relevant to you, but I don't think it is. Second question, it'll state that as a student from RUSM, we don't qualify for this one, so you can just continue forward. And the third question just confirms that as an RUSM student, we qualify for Pathway 3. You'll just click yes. The final step is just making sure everything is true. You're going to have to pay a $925 fee. And at this point, it's a very simple no, no, yes, everything is true. And then you just pay the fee and it's done. So don't rush this. Make sure that you hit the right buttons, because once you pay the fee and you submit your application, it's kind of locked and changes are very difficult. All right, and this is a sample kind of like, I guess, receipt or something you'll see once you've submitted your Pathways application.
All right, so the next section here is document management. I know we've been getting lots of questions about documents and stuff on Intealth. So the first question that we got here is, how do I upload documents to Intealth, whether that be headshots, transcripts, MSPEs, LORs, all that stuff. So there's a YouTube video here that literally walks you through exactly how to do that. And the walkthrough we're talking about is just like the ones that by the end of the presentation, you'll kind of see how in a little bit is going to show you how to kind of do some of those document things. But the next one is, what do I need to know about sending documents between Intealth and ERAS? And the simple answer to what you need to know is there's really not a lot that you yourself need to worry about, like actually sending. These two people communicate with each other. The biggest thing you just have to make sure is you're more so verifying that everything in Intealth is, or that should be in there, is in there. And again, Siham will show you guys what that looks like in a second. There's been a lot of questions on like which rotations or experiences do you include in Intealth. So I'm not sure why everyone's kind of like worrying about this. So from what we can tell and everything I looked online, it's not a required field. Like a lot of those things in the personal information are not required fields. That has nothing to do with our certification. None of that. You don't have to fill those out. It's not like it gets transmitted to ERAS or residency CAS or anything like that. I think that's more just for filling out information on your Intealth account, just like for you. So as far as we are aware, as far as we can tell from looking online, you do not have to fill this out. It's not a requirement for any of the parts that we have to do.
All right, so we're just going to walk through how to submit some documents. This is back to where we were on the Welcome to My Intealth main page. Now, instead of hitting the application for 2026 pathways, you're going to do the My Intealth applicant portal. Up top, we have kind of the bar of all of the different prompts: home, my profile, my documents, my cases, services, and help. The My Documents are to review uploaded documents. So these are documents that you've already uploaded and you can just view them here. If you want to upload any new documents, you hit Services, ERAS Support Services, which is a tab under the tab, and then Document Upload. So you have the About ERAS and Document Upload, and if you go down, it'll kind of give you just make sure you read that, tells you which documents you would need to upload if you need to upload any, and then you would click Upload Documents. Read and keep scrolling this page. And at the bottom, this is where you can upload your photo for your ERAS application, and it has the specifications. So make sure you pay attention to that.
Awesome. So now we're going to kind of just go through some general applications, processes, questions, a lot of it as it relates to like ERAS and residency CAS. One of the questions that we kept getting was how do you apply for STEP exams? And so there's this little video someone posted on Instagram that literally just walks you through exactly how to do that. We have screenshots to walk you through it, what it looks like also. But it's relatively simple. It's not really all that different from what we used to do in Oasis. It just kind of looks different. The next question is, what is the timeline for submitting applications? And again, I add that timelines and fees link. And then I added one for residency CAS as well. Someone was asking, how do I update information in the system if something doesn't transfer correctly? So this has been one of the biggest issues with Intealth and ECFMG right now while they're making all this transition from Oasis. There's not really a way to know for sure if something like doesn't upload properly. It's more of just if you notice something doesn't look like it's there or something like looks odd. Um, if it's something that you are able to upload yourself, then by all means, like you can try to upload it again. Otherwise, the best advice we have for you is to just contact Intealth or ECFMG and ask them for advice or ask them to check on something for you. Just because there's not really a lot of functionality in the user interface of Intealth for you to be able to like check that stuff on your own. One thing I will mention since we're here is a lot of people are worried about how their photo, their headshot ends up going into ERAS. I don't know if people with residency CAS have this problem, but I know people who are using ERAS have asked me about this quite a bit, where the profile picture icon in ERAS looks like it cuts off your forehead or something. Just know that's normal. Like you don't have to worry about that. That doesn't mean you need to like upload 15 different versions of your headshot until it looks right. Just know that if for some reason it cuts it off with the way that it shapes it. So just don't worry about that. If you are really stressed about it or worried about it, like I said, contact ERAS, contact Intealth, contact ECFMG, whoever you need to get that answer. Another question we got are, what are the basics I need to know about couples matching? So this is kind of a loaded question. I'm actually someone who's going to be going through couples match. So I put a bunch of, I guess, helpful things that may be beneficial for you if you are someone who is going through the couples match. It's really simple and also really complicated at the same time. So I just don't want to spend like a ton of time on it because we could literally be here all night. But these are just some of the better resources I personally think are out there for you. And another big question we got was how should experiences and rotations be entered into ERAS? I put some links here of people kind of giving advice or examples of what they look like. There's not really going to be a good answer for you because it's going to be dependent on the specialty, the program, the experiences that you have actually had, or just the style that you want to do these in. So there's not really a good answer. So I figured the best thing to do is just kind of give you other resources to help you figure out what's going to look the best for you. The other thing is, again, I'm not aware of anything where rotations should be entered into ERAS. I already covered that you don't need to put them into the Intealth site, but I know sometimes people get confused if they're not sure if the experiences section specifically means like your clinical rotations or something, and it does not mean that. These are like for your extracurricular benefits, and I think I'll touch on that a little bit later as well. So another thing that we did want to cover with this like walkthrough is in this services tab. So we talked about what you can see in ERAS support services. The other kind of important one is the ECFMG certification tab. It'll lead you to this page where you have all these different tabs. Um, Again, so on this first page, it's all of the information about ECFMG certification. I so strongly recommend that everybody actually read all of the information on this site just to make sure that you're not missing anything or misunderstanding something. Just having the information will be a huge benefit to you. But if you go and click on the application for ECFMG certification tab, um, the big thing to know, because I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about it or are not sure if their pathways thing went in properly, on this tab, it should say applicant application status accepted. If yours says pending or anything else other than accepted, I would first check by reading all of the information on these two tabs to see if you did everything, and double check that everything was in correctly. If it looks like everything's incorrectly or you're not sure what's going on, I strongly recommend you reach out to ECFMG to see if there's anything missing. The next one is the USMLE application. This is what I was mentioning of how you apply for step 1 and 2. Again, I very strongly recommend everybody who's doing this process read all of this information. But when you scroll down, it's literally just apply for USMLE. And you can see like your prior applications here. So like anyone who's taken step 1 and 2, it should show you information from your step 1 and 2 registration. But when you click the apply for USMLE, and that little Instagram video will show you as well, kind of what it looks like. But it's a very basic application. It's almost identical in structure to what we did on Oasis. It just looks a little different with the formatting that they have for this website. The next thing you can do is go to exam results, and this is where you should be able to see it populate your step 1, step 2 scores. A lot of people are concerned that they can't see their score reports like you can. Like for step 2, you can click on a PDF and that's where your score reports are. A lot of people are concerned they can't see that for step 1. Don't worry, that's normal. I'm not exactly sure why they don't have the score report. I assume it's just because it's not like a numerically scored test, so there's not really a reason. It's just pass or fail. So don't worry if you don't see a score report for step 1. That's normal. All right, and we also got a bunch of questions about OET, and I mean, there's going to be other sessions on this later, and I think CATL sent an email out recently that they're going to be doing an OET thing as well. So we just want to kind of scratch the surface and just give you some basic information, whether you have already taken it or have not taken it yet. But a big question that people keep asking is, how do you apply for OET? It's actually incredibly simple. You go to this link to book a test. Make sure you click on the fact that you're taking it on a computer, not on paper. But you go book now. You type in like whatever zip code or address you want, select your center, Then you'll create an account, follow the steps. Um, and then you'll get an email from you got an email from the registrar or CATL. I honestly don't remember about. I think they're doing like a session or something. I'm not really sure what it is that they have planned. Um, and like I said, there will be a separate CSGA Connect session coming as well. And another question we got is how do I transfer scores from OET to ECFMG? So it's very easy. It's just like nobody really tells you how to do it. So the easiest thing is when you like log into your dashboard for OET, you'll just click My Results on this tab on the left, and you'll see like your test results thing. You literally just click Manage Verifier Access. Once you're here, you'll type in ECFMG in this little search box and it'll pop up here in like the organization's name. You'll just click it and then you'll click start sharing with this organization and it will literally just move over here like you see in the red. And if you click on it, it'll ask you if you want to stop sharing with this organization. Don't do that. Just leave it alone. Once it's on this side that says you have shared your results with and you see ECFMG is there, that's it. That's literally all you have to do. Once you go into your Pathways application, what you're looking for is you want it to say OET score review complete. That's all you want it to say. It's all you need it to say. It can take up to like a week, 5 business days for this to go in once you have given that access. So just be aware of that, but this is what you want it to say. And then the last thing we have is just some additional like little questions that we got from people. Um, so the first one was, why are there 3 different websites and what are they each used for? The snarky answer is they're just extorting us because they can, and there's nothing we can really do about it. But in reality, I'm not entirely sure if there's truly a purpose to have 3. Technically speaking, the Intealth website is ECFMG's website. So technically there's really only 2, and then obviously like my ERAS or residency cast, that's really just your application service. So technically it's 2 websites, but you could probably make an argument there's 3. It's just using a third-party service to, I guess, verify that we have done all of the things that we are supposed to do in order to be licensed. The next one was, what do we actually need to update in Intealth? This is kind of what I was mentioning before, is if the things don't say that they are required for you to fill out, you probably don't need to fill it out. So there's really not a lot that we actually need to fill in Intealth. Like I said before, it's really more so just verifying that the things that are in there are correct and accurate. Next one, what documents do we need to, what documents from, did I even word that right? What documents basically need to go from Intealth to Residency CAS? And again, it's pretty similar to ERAS in what needs to go in. I put a link here that kind of explains a lot of those. There's like links within this web page, so just make sure you're following. There's like a document services explanations link that you can click to, and it'll take you to a different part of the page. Basically, just here's a good link that kind of gives you everything you need to know. The next one was, how do I upload a headshot? CHUM kind of went through that. It's when you go and upload a document like she showed you, and you just want to make sure that it is in your My Documents for review. And then you give it like 3 to 5 business days, and then you want to make sure you're checking your ERAS or your residency CAS or whatever service you're using just to make sure that it's in there. How do I navigate the Intealth website? I think we pretty much gave you everything that's at least, I guess, what you need to know. But the best way to do that, in my opinion, is really just spend some time on the site, read things on the different pages, click as many pages as you want just to get more familiarized with it. That's what I did when I first started using it. I just clicked every tab just to see what was on everything. The big thing to know is just please do not just start clicking things and like applying for things or clicking buttons that are on there. That's how you end up paying for things or thinking that you have to do things that you don't actually have to do. So just please read everything before you do any of this stuff, especially if it's something that we didn't show you in this presentation. We don't want you paying for things that you don't need to be paying for, or worrying about parts of applications that are not even applications you need to be bothered with. Another question is what all is needed for Ross graduation? So obviously, like as you get closer to graduation, I believe it's the registrar um, or the promotions committee or both will be sending you a list of all the things that you need to watch out for. A high level overview is stuff like making sure all your rotations are done, making sure you have no holds on your account, making sure that you have paid whatever you owe Ross at that time, making sure all the gap disclosures that you need to fill out are filled out, just things like that. Um, if you want to know ahead of time, make sure you reach out to the registrar and or the promotions committee to make sure that you are on track if you're worried about it. But they should be giving you plenty of notice for that. And then the last thing, like I said, I kind of touched on before, is in the experience section, does it mean clinical experiences? So it can mean clinical experiences. It doesn't mean your clinical rotations. That's a completely other part of your application. I like to describe these as more of like your extracurriculars. Like if they happen to be clinically related, fine, you could include that. But if you go on the drop down menu that is required of like selecting what type of experience it is, you can get a good idea of the different types of experiences that you can put in there. And that might help you kind of figure that out. But otherwise, do we have any burning questions? Like we said, we are not experts, but we will do our absolute best to give you an answer or at least direct you to the right resource.
Feel free to just come on the mic or send them in the chat.
I don't think I can see the chat, so Siham might have to monitor the chat for me, but I can certainly respond to people who talk. All right, and if there are no questions, here are a bunch of the, I guess, resources or people you can contact. And again, this presentation will be attached to the video, and we'll make sure to send the link to the video in the chats as well, just so you guys have it. But if anybody has questions, feel free. If anybody doesn't have questions, you can feel free to hop off as well.
Hey, thank you for that presentation. I just have a quick question. Could you go back to the slide regarding the certification? Because I think I submitted mine, however, it's still showing like pending. So I'm not sure if maybe I'm missing something or
Mhm. This slide, you mean?
yeah.
Mhm. So
I don't think it's that one.
yeah, I won't know just because I can't see,
Yeah,
your specific application. But like I said, it might be good to just read these two specific tabs, the About ECFMG certification and the application for ECFMG certification. Go through it, see if there's anything that you're like recognizing of like, oh, that doesn't sound familiar. I didn't do that. And again, if all else fails, like you can always reach out to ECFMG to be like, hey, I think I did everything right. I'm pathways 3. My application status still says pending and it's been, X number of days. And I just want to make sure there's nothing else that I need to do. And they can usually either clarify it for you. I know for some people, for some reason, it gets like stuck. Even though you are accepted, it might still say pending. I think I saw in the chat somebody said like if you clear your cache and cookies on the website and then refresh the page, it might show the updated status. But for some people that wasn't working, so I'm not sure. I think it's just kind of a crapshoot. So you might have to just message ECFMG to double check.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Zach, we have 2 questions in the chat. One is, can you explain how to share step 2 scores to programs on ERAS? My understanding is that the school doesn't do that. So if you could explain that.
Yes. So basically, when you go to your My ERAS, there's that tab that says My Documents, and then there's the sub tab that's like because you'll have like your personal statements, letters of recommendation, and then there's additional documents. If you click additional documents, you'll see where like your MSPE goes, your transcripts go, and your headshot, like all that stuff will be in that section. I think it's the first line on there, that is like your USMLE transcripts. There's like three little buttons on the right side of that that you'll click, and the only button it should have available for you to select will say assign. When you click assign, it pops up a little window with all of the programs that you saved. And you can basically select whichever ones you want, but I assume you'll probably select all of them. So there's just like a checkbox at the very top of that list that will select all of them for you. And the bottom right corner of that little pop-up window will say like it'll be a green button that just says like save. And then it'll pop up a like confirmation window with a list of all the programs that you're saying that yes, I want to send my USMLE transcripts to these programs that are listed, and then you just hit like confirm, and that's literally all you have to do.
I think they also charge you, I think it's $80. You don't pay it at the
Yeah,
time, but it'll say that it'll cost $80 and then you pay it at the same time you send in your application.
correct. Yes, it's like a $80 transcript fee.
Yep. And then another question is there anything we need to do in regards to the clinical skills attestation for Pathways? Currently, their Pathways application says processing has not begun.
So about, I think 2-3 years ago, Ross started doing this thing where assuming you passed, I believe it's your IM, OB, and surgery rotations. I believe it's those specific three. Um, someone might have to fact check me on that, but I think it's those three. If you passed those, the school will basically attest on your behalf with ECFMG that you have satisfactorily met the requirements for the clinical skills. So, assuming you're one of those people that like passed those three rotations, you shouldn't have to do anything unless the school specifically asks you for something. The school should be handling all of that on your own. So the portion you do with the certification in Intealth, you only need to worry about that. They send stuff back. ECFMG sends stuff back and forth with the school to verify all your stuff. And the school, part of what the school does is verify that, yes, they have met the requirements for the clinical skills portion. Any other questions?
Hello, do you hear me? I don't know. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, here's the follow. Actually, recently, I was signing for in my Intel. I didn't upload any document that I see on my Intel is stated. My Intel account has my total character account stable. When I tried to reach them, I couldn't get any feedback from them. But when I see in my case actually, obviously application for the same this application, I say the same accepted. But when I see in my case, one in my case, in my document, they said in errors pending document upload. Do that I have to upload something, or maybe my message recommended to not upload it? That kind of things I think it's clear. When I click in my case, I see in errors and it starts with pending document upload. And actually required now and restriction applied now. That's what makes me the pending is from documents I supposed to upload or maybe letter of recommendation that doesn't justify uploading. So that makes me actually if you have any clue, please have me.
So I heard bits and pieces of that. I don't know if that's like on my end. I don't see him. I don't know if you caught all of that.
No, I'm sorry. You're coming a little in and out. If it's not a really long question, do you mind sending it in the chat? I also had trouble hearing.
Yeah, for example, last year I applied for resident. when I see in Intel things coming this year, it wasn't there last year. They go with OSS.
Gotcha.
But this time, when I was to try to sign in, like for my Intel from what I got in email, after that one, when I sign in, they said already my status is account established and even ACGM application certification, they said the application status accepted. But I tried to upload my pictures, my passport. I couldn't get any places to upload this document. So that means maybe from last year they transferred everything to this program. That was everything confused.
So I think that might honestly just be a question for ECFMG, just to try to get clarification on that of like what you're supposed to do. I know it's not like the best answer in the world, but that definitely goes beyond my level of expertise.
Yeah, that when I see even in my areas, they say you say send transcript is authorized, maybe MSP is uploaded. But I see everything looks like the same thing from last year what I see in the application. But I was a little confused. If you guys have it here, it's not done. But, I sent them an email, but they didn't respond yet.
Have you tried reaching out to Ross about that? I don't know
Um,
if they
um,
if they need to do that a second time.
okay, let me see. I didn't take the role that one. I was waiting for this event that I decided to attend for it. If you have it here, just to click on it. But no one will
Gotcha.
have that for it. Thank you so much.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, hopefully it fixes itself, or you're able to figure that out. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Otherwise, application for state certification, they said accepted. So that makes actually, I think, very for you at this time. So that I had for the right. The picture was I see in my heart already. That means they in the protocol last year.
I mean, I think if it says accepted, that's I guess the most important thing, right?
Yeah. That's what I give a relief today from what he said. After the protocol certification, he said accepted. I check that now when I was listening to you. All right, thank you. If anyone, I don't want to have other people.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Are there any other questions from the audience? All right. Well, if there's
I
no other,
already when I was going through my document, it said ID for notarized. So probably I was notarized last year, so they will ask me for it because they said ID for notarized. That's what they said. Maybe when I took step one, step two, they asked you actually in step one to on the video to check with your documents and everything. So probably that is done. That's what I see in ID for notarized. When I
are you able to type your question in the chat? Just because the on at least on my end, the sound kind of keeps going in and out. I just want to make sure I'm understanding so I can try to give you the best answer.
uh,
Yeah, sorry about that.
no problem.
As they're getting their question into the chat, feel free if you do have another question for Zach about any part of the application, feel free to do that now. Someone asked, does Pathways need to be accepted before September 24th?
No, it does not. So the all your like ECFMG certification stuff. And you can see that in like the timeline and fees and all the other links that we put in. I believe it's like January 31st or something like that. It's like the end of January is basically when all that stuff needs to be in. But technically it can't be like finalized until after your graduation date because the school basically just has to verify your diploma. And I believe you need to upload like a PDF of it or something like that. So it really won't you won't get like fully certified until after your graduation date, basically.
Yes, the session is recorded and will be sent out.
Any other questions?
Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Hi guys, thank you guys for putting this together. I had a question about uploading a photograph. So I've tried several times on the My Intealth to
Mhm.
upload, and it says it allows me to upload it and submit it. But I've never gotten any like confirmation. And I haven't seen it populate on my ERAS application. So I don't know if I'm either missing something, because it's allowed me to at least upload the photograph. Is just, I'm not sure why it's
Mhm.
not been able to get to my ERAS application.
How long ago did you upload it last?
The last time I did it was probably last week, like Wednesday or something. But I've done it at least 3, 4 times because I will check pretty much
Mhm.
every day. But the last time was like towards the end of last week.
So I'm thinking that might be part of the problem. It might have like confused the system a little bit, but I know that any document upload can take around 3 to 5 business days. So if you did it like last week, like last Wednesday,
Hmm.
like it should have populated. If that was like the last time you uploaded one, assuming it didn't like glitch out the system, it should be there like tomorrow-ish or maybe with like the weekend coming up, maybe Monday. If I were in your position, if I didn't see it by like tomorrow night, uh, I would first thing Monday morning send an email to ECFMG and just be like, "Hey, what's going on here? I keep trying this and it's just not showing up." Um, but yeah, as far as confirmation goes, that's like one very big lacking hole that Intealth has. It just does not tell you if, how, when, why. You just have to pray.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, no questions in the chat. Anyone have any last questions?
Actually, yes, another one. So I saw recently that Ross has sent an email with our transcripts and the MSPE, for those that are using Residency Cast. But I'm not sure on the Residency Cast interface that there's a place for us to actually upload it. I know we had to request that documentation, but I'm not sure if you guys are aware of how we would go about uploading it, into what section exactly in Residency Cast.
So I'm not super familiar with Residency Cast just because I haven't used it. Um, that might be a good thing to go on YouTube and see if someone has a like a live walkthrough of what that looks like. You can also reach out to OCA because they might have a better understanding of that. Because when I met with them, they explained it to me as they were uploading it in a similar fashion to ERAS. So maybe reach out to them for clarification, or try to find like a good YouTube video that might help you walk through that specific part. I just unfortunately don't have a super good answer for you, just because I don't know residency cast that well.
Got it. Thank you. Will do.
All right. Any other questions before we wrap up here?
Awesome. Thanks everybody for joining us, and I hope that you had some of your questions answered. Quick reminder, we will be uploading this to YouTube, as well as I think on the Connect page. And the PDF of the slides will go out as well, so you can click on the links. All right. Thank you everybody. Have a good
Thanks,
evening.
everybody.